standards natin when designing the highways and railways. So it's like magsiset up tayo ng mga guidelines para dun sa gusto nating design, dun sa mga roads natin. Roads or trains so that they are up to the standard, they are safe, efficient yung curvatures, and comfortable yung mga road users natin. So for example, sa DPWH designs natin, design ng expressways like the NLEX. So we have to follow yung standards natin pagdating sa design speed, gaano kalapad yung mga highways natin, and ano yung gradient and turning movement ng mga curves natin. Okay, so design criterias. So yung goal po natin, pinakauna lagi. So hindi lang po sa road design but in all the infrastructure natin. Pagdating sa civil engineering, laging priority po is the safety. Pero again, we're talking about the highways. So safety hindi lang po sa pang cars but for everyone. Okay, sinong everyone na yon? So pedestrian, cyclist, mga pasahero, so lahat po ay dapat i-consider natin sa road designs natin. Okay. So upon considerate upon okay, so when we have that in mind, so it leads to the principle ng safe system approach natin. Okay, so ano bang ang principle ni safe system approach? So una, dapat simple and self-explanatory yung road natin. So kapag nasa roads, kailangan alam ng drivers saan pupunta yung mga curves natin. Pwede ba siyang dumiretso or okay. So it is more on the traffic signs din. Kasi pagdating sa uh, reliance ng mga vehicles natin. So dapat pagkakita pa lang ng mga road markings or design ng roads natin, kailangan maintindihan nila ano ba yung purpose ng highways natin. Okay, so for example, sa BGC, okay, so yung pedestrian lane po sa BGC is malapad. So, one indication na pag malapad yung pedestrian lane natin. So, ang magiging thinking ng mga drivers natin is it is a pedestrian friendly na road, and kailangan before the pedestrian lane, kailangan nagsa-slow down na yung mga vehicles natin. It is an indication na again slow speed zone yung area. So that is one application ng safe system approach natin. So ano ba yung mga kailangan nating i-consider? So first po is sa mga highways natin, we have to consider the anticipated traffic volume. Okay, so before we design the highways, so kailangan nating tanungin, ilang cars ba, ilang bus, ilang trucks yung gagamit ng roads na yun. So we have to study about the average daily traffic and yung design hourly volume natin. So, okay. So, from your traffic counting, okay. So, ano po ang na-realize? Or ano ba, so nakita nyo, di ba? Kung gaano kadami yung dumadaan na sasakyan within 1 hour. Pero again, yung usual na traffic counting natin is 12 hours. So, para malaman natin, ano ba yung peak hours na madaming sasakyan and nakikater ba ng highways natin yung volume ng mga sasakyan. So, dyan pumapasok yung idea ng LOS na kahit madami yung sasakyan, kung nakikater ng highway natin yung capacity, so hindi siya magta-traffic. Well, kung sa mga peak hours, tapos mas malaki yung demand dun sa highways natin, doon yun yung mga scenarios na traffic kasi yung design ng highway is nag exceed na yung demand kaysa doon sa capacity. Okay, so again, traffic data. ADT this is the daily traffic. Okay, average daily traffic. So this is per day. While si AADT is the annual traffic. Okay, malinaw po ba tayo dito? So ang difference po, ADT is the total traffic uh, per day, while the annual average daily traffic is average nung lahat ng naging traffic within the 365 days natin. And then, design hourly volume. So, within the 24-hour count or within the 24 hours, alin yung oras na madami yung sasakyan or alin yung kakaunti yung sasakyan. Okay, and then K is the ratio natin ng DHV to ADT. So, this is capacity ratio po natin. Okay? So, kapag sa rural area, nasa 12 to 18%. Then, kapag urban areas or sa mga metropolitan cities, nasa 8 to 12% po. Okay, and then next characteristic na kailangan nating i-consider is yung character and design ng traffic. So, a thorough knowledge, so design ng vehicle's weight, lalo na kung ang highways natin ay or kailangan natin mag-construct ng bridge. So, ano ba yung capacity ng bridge na kailangan? So, di ba, we have mga 6 tons, 3 tons na mga bridge. Then, mobility, other characteristics is the essential for good design. So, dito we have to consider the different vehicle that uses our roads. So, the cars, buses, trucks, and bicycles. So, hindi po porket naka-design yung highway natin for cars, ay cars lang mismo ang dadaan. Okay, so it must accommodate other vehicle types. So, yung roads natin must fit all of them. Okay, so for example, yung mga trucks natin, they need wider turns. So, yung intersections natin must be designed to handle yung turning movement ng trucks natin. So, kaya dito sa may Batangas Port po, so we have dedicated truck routes papunta sa ports natin and palabas ng ports natin. Okay. So, yung design is usually for the largest expected vehicle. So, to ensure na naka-design, di ba, pag nagde-design naman tayo ng other structures, kailangan nating i-anticipate ano ba yung maximum para kung ang demand man dyan ay yung mga maliliit na vehicles, makikater pa din ng road natin. So this one, largest vehicle negotiate the designated turns particularly if the pavements are curved. Ano po yung curb? ito po yung, 'di ba sa mga sidewalks natin, yung elevated na part or yung pinaka-edge ng sidewalks natin, yun po yung curb. So, iba po yung CURVED, curve is liko, while the curb is yung edge ng sidewalks. Okay, and then third thing to consider is yung design speed natin. So, according to physical features po ng highways natin, we have, they are influencing the vehicle operation. So, design speed means yung speed na yung road natin are built for. So, sa mga flat terrain, or for example, sa expressways natin, so yung speed sa expressways can be up to 100 kilometer per hour. But yung mga mountain roads natin sa Baguio, Cannon Road, so yung speeds natin doon are much lower compared to the expressway. Kasi doon sa mga kurbada and sa mga slopes, again, kung mabilis ang sasakyan or mabilis ang patakbo mo, tapos kurbada yan. So, there is a tendency or there is a possibility na tumapon ka dun sa may bangin. Okay, so we have to consider, again, topography, terrain, nung natural grade line natin. And then another thing is the highway capacity. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So capacity natin is how many vehicles does a road can handle. So factors including the number of lanes, lane width, gano'ng kalapad, shoulder width for the emergency stop, and yung mga turning sections natin. Okay, so for example, 'di ba, yung EDSA is 4 to 5 lanes, pero they still suffer from congestion kasi yung traffic demand kay EDSA is nag-exceed siya dun sa design capacity. Bakit? Kasi maraming tao sa Manila is gumagamit ng private cars even for short distance travel. Sa for example, mga nasa 2 to 3 kilometers lang yung pupuntahang mall, mag karamihan magka-car pa din sila kaysa uh, public okay. Okay, so another thing we have to consider po is yung classification ng highway. So, from the lesson 2 natin, so lesson 2, yung classification ng highway natin, expressway, arterial, collector, local roads. Okay, so yung design natin for the multi-lane highways, they have varying design speed based doon sa classification. Diba? Kasi not all the highways are the same. And we have a strict design standards or mas strict yung design standards natin kay expressway compared kay local roads. And then accident information. So we also have to study about the accident history to avoid repeating the same mistake. Okay, so for example, dun sa Commonwealth Avenue, so it was in Manila. So before ang tawag sa kanya is Killer Highway kasi maraming tao ang dumadaan doon or mga nagja-jaywalking. So nagkakos I mean kasalanan din naman nila for jaywalking pero kasi kung i-consider din natin na yung inclusion nila pagdating sa roadways natin, walang pedestrian lane. So napipilitan silang dumaan dun sa gitna. So maraming accidents nangyari. So yung decision ni MMDA at ni DPWH doon is naglagay sila ng speed limit. Nagkaroon din ng concrete barriers doon sa gitna or naglagay sila ng island. And then may mga construction din ng mga pedestrian overpass. So, yun yung application na ng safe system approach natin. So, ano yung mga design or ano yung mga features na pwede nating ilagay sa mga highways natin to include all our road users. Okay, so that's all the characteristics na kailangan natin pagdating sa highway. So first, again, is the traffic volume, anticipated traffic volume. Then second is the character and design, kung sino ba ang gagamit ng roads natin. Third is the design speed. Fourth is the highway capacity. And fifth, classification ng highway. Sixth is the accident history. Okay, so maliwanag po pa tayo doon. Okay, so next po natin is yung design considerations natin pagdating sa railway. So, sa design requirements, so for railways natin, so we have to follow the standards like the Japan Industry Standards and then Japan Rolling Stock Industry Standards. So, bakit po? Kasi most of our design pagdating sa railway natin is after the Japanese standards. Diyan, kasi yung partner din po natin, pagdating sa railway natin is the JICA. So, yung Metro Manila Subway, and then before is the LRT and the MRT lines, the PNR. So, they are after the Japanese standards po. And then, yung trains natin, so it usually have the standard formation, 8 coaches or 8 na bagon yung isang unit mismo. Okay, and then usually 8 kasi again we have to consider yung length nung bagon, pero pwede namang magdagdag, pero we have to consider again yung turning movement kung sasakto pa siya dun sa design ng railway natin. And then route data. So we have the same data needed in the highway design. So kunin din natin yung horizontal and vertical curves or alignments, kukunin din natin yung mga gradings and slopes. So just like sa roadway natin. So again, sabi ko nga sa inyo before, parehas lang tayo ng principles sa pagde-design ng highway and railway natin. Pero ang pinagkaiba lang is yung materials na ginamit or gagamitin for the construction. Okay, so kung sa highways natin, we have the natural grade or yung lupa natin, and then coarse aggregates, sand, asphalt, and concrete for the surfacing. Sa railway natin, we have coarse aggregate as the base course, and then meron tayong the metal railway mismo. Okay, and then another thing we have to consider pagdating sa railways natin is the environmental conditions. So, yung mga trains natin, they have or this is more on the localization since yung standards na ginamit natin is from Japan, so we have a different weather condition with when compared to Japan. So dito sa atin mas ulan araw. So mas mataas yung humidity dito sa atin compared kay Japan na they have 4 seasons, 'di ba? So yung mga trains natin, so they have to work under the heat, the rain, the humidity, especially kapag ngayon tag-ulan. So yung design ng subway, so they have para maiwasan yung corrosion. Corrosion yung pinaka kalaban natin pagdating sa materials. And also sa Manila Subway project, so they have or yung operation ng trains natin. So since during the typhoon season, andyan yung baha. So yung design din ng drainage system. So we have to consider that para hindi matigil yung operation ng subway even if bumabaha na sa outer part. Pero dapat it's more on the electricity drainage. So yun po kasi nasa ilalim ng lupa yan, di ba? Okay. And then so sa framework po, so ano ba yung so these are basic ideas lang. So it's from school 2000. So this is a design process. So continuation lang nung na-discuss natin last meeting. Okay. So sa design process, we have to specify yung mga design standards natin. So this can be from the local agencies natin, DPWH or DOTR, or international groups like the JICA. And then meron din tayong pagdating sa materials and yung processing ng materials natin. So we have the ASHTO guidelines for the curve designs natin. And then survey major site characteristics. So dito na yung surveying mismo. So before we design the highways and railways, so we have to survey yung soil samples natin, the topography, drainage, and environment natin. Okay, so para hindi lang yung design ang i-consider natin, but also the materials na gagamitin natin dun sa road or highways natin. Okay, so for example, sa yung Bataan Cavite Interlink Bridge, so they required a soil sample or soil boring test sa Manila Bay. So that is to check if yung foundations na ginawa doon or inilagay doon is kayang suportahan yung pylons or yung piles for the foundation ng bridge. Okay, and then after natin makuha na lahat ng data, so dito tayo magsaset ng standards or ng guidelines. Ano ba yung design speed or this is more of a checklist para dun sa road na i-construct natin. Ano ba yung design controls or ano ba yung design speed, ano yung vehicle size, maximum vehicle size na dadaan dun sa road, ano yung capacity ng roads natin, gaano katarik, slopes, and then may mga utilities ba na kailangan tanggalin doon sa area. And then sa mga trucks, ano yung mga height clearance for the container trucks, ano yung weight ng vehicles, kung bridge man yung dadaanan. So after natin iset yung mga design controls na yon, so saka tayo saka natin i-identify saan natin padadaanin yung roads natin. So, ano pong ibig sabihin nitong box na broken lines? So, in case man po na may modification, say, for example, sa specifications ng route, may modification tayo, pwede tayong bumalik kay design control. Just for cross-checking or verification. Ano ba yung sinet nating controls and akma ba siya dun sa route na ginawa natin. Then after this route specification, so we have to conduct yung mga preliminary design natin. Okay, so from preliminary design to detailed design. So preliminary design, sketching ng route, alignments, and drainage. And then detailed design, so nandiyan na yung exact cross-section, nandiyan na yung costing ng roads natin, and yung mga specifications pagdating sa constructability. Okay, and then, okay, after the design, so kailangan nating i-evaluate kung safe ba siya, inclusive ba, may features or ano yung features na pwedeng ilagay para sa mga pedestrian, sa mga passengers natin. Cost efficient ba siya? Say for example, sa mga demolition. Okay, may kailangan bang i-relocate na mga poste or pwede namang iwasan na lang yung mga poste and then yung other utilities rather. So, para maiwasan yung additional costing. Okay. So again, this is also included dun sa iterative na process natin. So kung magkaroon man ng or upon evaluation, medyo tagilid or may characteristic na hindi akma doon sa design control. So, balik tayo doon sa design control and so on. Yun po. Okay, so malinaw po ba tayo dito sa lecture or sa design process natin? Okay, malinaw po ang design criterias. Okay, so do you have any question po? Question, clarification?